Are you ready for the second best night of your lives? We are very excited to be here with you tonight. Now, one of the great treats of doing this tour is I get to pick who opens for me. And the opening act I brought is a fucking banger. You are going to love it. Will you please give all your attention, love and applause, and welcome to the stage, the brilliant, it's Mo Welch!
Fort Lauderdale, how are you? Florida. Okay, have no pride in yourself. How's everybody? Are you ready to see Brett Goldstein? This is one of our last shows on tour, so let's make it, I don't know, the best? Okay. All right, one very drunk person. Not yet? Okay, we can't wait. We're waiting over here. It's like me at Thanksgiving with my family. We're going to see how drunk everybody can get. I'm very excited to be here. Fort Lauderdale is a place I had like my graduation trip with my friends. So I have a very special place in my heart for Fort Lauderdale. I remember being at the motel and the ceiling just simply falling on us. So hoping that happens again. I also love Florida because I feel like it's a place where you can really be yourself. Like, everyone feels free to be themselves. Maybe they shouldn't at times. But they feel free to be themselves. There's like elderly people getting STDs. There's like beautiful, beautiful gay people. You guys have the most beautiful gay people. A lot of gay people. I'm a gay ally myself. I'm a huge gay ally. My wife is gay. Yeah, we just found out, so it's pretty big. I was like, but you have long hair. Yeah, I should have known. She was always talking about wanting to get a Subaru. So I was going out on her. Yeah, should have known. I met my wife, it's very embarrassing where I met my wife. We met 10 years ago. We met at a bowling alley. And we met at an event called Les Bowl. It's so embarrassing though. I know it's amazing, but it's so embarrassing. It's like our origin story is we met at Les Bowl. You know, that's so embarrassing to me. But my friends are like, no, that's like a modern day lesbian love story. Which, just to be clear, every lesbian love story is a modern day lesbian love story. No one liked to tell those stories back in the olden days. But I just feel like I have to tell my grandkids this story, our origin story, and that's embarrassing to me. Like, I'm just like, where did I meet Grandike? I don't know what we're going to call each other. Yeah, we're batting around names. Grandike seems pretty awesome. Where did I meet Grandike? Well, I met her at Les Bowl. She stuck 3 fingers in that bowling ball and I knew she was gay. She wasn't even wearing a wrist guard, which is basically raw dogging in my community. Okay, you guys got it. It's 6 p.m. in Florida, okay? I just love that some people are going to go home and be like, is that what lesbian sex is? Is this lesbian sex? Nobody can know, okay? It's one of life's greatest mysteries. That and like what I do to defrost the windows in my car. I have no idea. That's the only time I want a husband. My wife too. We have no idea how to defrost the windows in our car. Because there's 2 buttons and we never know what to push, and then we don't know if we put the temperature up or down. And then we just like end up rolling down the windows and there's 0 visibility. So we'd love to rent a husband here tonight. If you know anybody. You guys are quiet for Florida, that's worrying me. I feel very worried. Are there any gay people in the audience, or am I the only gay person here? Oh, that's a lot. All right, fuck you. Support your fellow gay or get out. Honestly, there's too much competition. You should get out. I had a baby a few years ago. My wife and I did it. I had a baby with a woman, the way that my Lord and Savior Melissa Etheridge intended. I came to the window with a full birth plan. And a lot of people want to know, in a lesbian relationship, how you choose who has the baby. Because really, my wife and I, both of us could choose, but or we could have had the baby, but I am the taller one. So I'm like, I'm taller, I'll take it, like my back is stronger. You don't know my wife, but she's like honestly so weak. And I'm so much stronger than her. So I was like, I'll take this one, you get the next one. She wanted to have 2 kids. But what happened is I had the first baby and she saw that. That's really what happened. So we're having 1 child. 1 child. I had, are there old moms in the house tonight? Okay. I had a geriatric pregnancy, which means like basically an old mom. They call it advanced age pregnancy now, which somehow sounds worse than geriatric pregnancy. But I highly recommend having a child at an older age if you like to pee and walk at the same time. So you guys are in a splash zone right here. You pay a lot of money to get peed on by me. Yeah, I think this is so adorable though. The teachers at my daughter's daycare, they say that they know who has the older parents because when the kids get up, they make noise.
They make noise because that is after the parents.
It's most adorable seeing just all these 2-year-olds like, oh, to be one again. It's so adorable. There are kids that have younger parents, and they're like, when I grow up, I want to be a firefighter. Not my daughter. She's like, anything with a good pension. That works out. That works. Yeah, I realize some of my friends are really stupid. The thing is when you're pregnant, you're like a walking science experiment. Like, people ask you questions all the time, and I'm totally open to that. But a friend of mine, I haven't seen her in like 6 months, so I was 6 months pregnant, and she was like, I was like, great news, I'm pregnant. And her first question right out of the gate was, are you going to keep it? Her first question. I was like, I don't know how you think I made this baby with my wife. This is not a mistake, okay? I didn't wake up hungover, like, oh my god, what the fuck happened last night? I was so drunk. Did I pay a fertility doctor $14,000? She was not a mistake. She will never have the grit of a child made by mistake, you know? She'll never have that. There were so many steps to making her. We went to this fertility clinic and we had to go, they made us go to therapy, which was rude. We had to get a lawyer, but yeah, like our sperm donor is like a really good friend of ours, and he's gay. My wife, obviously, as you know, gay. And I'm gay. And so they made us all go to therapy. So at the time it felt like a mild gay hate crime. But in retrospect, I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Like, maybe anyone who wants to procreate should have to go to therapy first. Like, that's a good idea. Of course, if that was the case, none of us would be here tonight. I cannot imagine my parents going to therapy. There's absolutely just no way that's happening. My mom is my best friend. The reason I wanted to be a mom is because my mom is such a good mom. And she's a very sweet lady. She actually, so she really wants to move to Florida. She's like, I really want to buy a house in Florida, but she doesn't even have a house in Illinois. So we're like, we can't buy a second house. You don't even have the first one. But she was like, you know, if I ever die, and I was like, Mom, if, okay. She was a bit an optimist. If I ever die, my dream is just to die in a pool, drinking a drink in Florida. Like, having a fancy drink just in Florida. I'm like, you want to drown? Like, such a bad idea. But anyway, she's very sweet. I live in Los Angeles, and yeah, I mean, everybody hates it, it's fine. I'm not from there. But I was living there for, I don't know, maybe a year or something. She comes to visit me, and I pick her up at the airport, and my mom was wearing all purple. She was wearing like head to toe purple. So when I picked her up, I was like, why do you look like Tinky Winky? And like, get in the car, looks like a Teletubby. And she's like, well, you know, I knew I was coming to LA, so I knew I couldn't wear red or blue.
That's awesome.
Mom, do you think people are going to mistake you for being a blood or a crip? He's like, well, that's why I want everyone to know that I'm for both. But I don't know if your parents are like this. My mom, her stories are getting like out of control boring. Just like so boring. And every story she tells me, she has to start at the very beginning of the day. Like if she just wants to tell me one thing, it has to start with, okay, well, I woke up. When I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning because there were thunderstorms last night rolling in from Chicago. You know I can't sleep when there's thunderstorms. And then I go downstairs and make myself some eggs, because Dr. Kyle said I should make some eggs. By the way, his fish office is the Lombard. I didn't want to do that. And then Kathleen had to get out. She's been having bladder issues, so I put my Hoka gym shoes on. I've been using those for walking. And then I've been using the On shoes, been using those for jogging, and I've been using Brooks gym shoes for date night. And 45 minutes into this conversation, we are like at 11 a.m. every day. I was like, Mom, what is this story about? She's like, oh, Cheryl got lupus. Okay, well, I should let you go. I'm like, okay. Okay, that sounds good. I'm originally a Midwesterner. I'm from a place called Normal, Illinois. All right. How are there just as many gay people as there are people from Normal? All of us escaped and moved to Fort Lauderdale. I'm from Normal, Illinois. It's in the middle of Illinois. There's not a lot going on, but it's the home of the first Steak and Shake, so that's not nothing. Not nothing, but it's close to nothing. It's nothing plus diarrhea. I'm very happy. That's where I'm from. People are very nice. But I was a 4-H kid in Normal. Yeah, okay, 4 people, 4-H. Sometimes when I go to cities, they don't know what it is. Like, I said this joke in New York City, and they thought I was talking about an STD. And I was like, no, 4-H? 4-H is like it's like a cool club. It's for the cool kids. It's like the kids that love farm animals, you know, we're very interested in livestock. We love animals, but not in a weird way, in a very respectable way. And you go around and show your animals at different fairs. And my talent in 4-H is I had long-haired guinea pigs, and I would show them, and I give them like full blowouts. And it was the 90s, so a few of them had the Rachel, and I bring them around. I love little pets. When we were younger, we had so many little pets in our house. We had like 15 little pets and no electricity. And friends of mine that were like middle class and up, they had like a pet. They had one dog, a golden retriever. It was a part of the family, like in the Christmas photos, and they would like die of old age or like natural causes. Our pets died the most theatrical deaths. Like every single little pet died, and you know something would happen because you just hear my mom from 2 doors down yell, "Oh shit! The parakeet just flew into the ceiling fan! God damn it!" It was so terrifying. Like a little hamster that got out through the pipes. I got a hamster just got out through the pipes. Like a Shawshank Redemption. It was so traumatic that when I got older, I was like, I'm just having one pet. I'm gonna have a dog. So we have one dog. We have a Chihuahua Terrier, which is basically the size of 2 guinea pigs taped together. And when we got our dog, they said he's a year old. And then we bring him home, we bring him to our vet. The vet says this dog is a minimum 10 years old. Minimum. I thought I was bringing home a newborn, okay? This dog is 75 years old. He's watching Yellowstone all day. He doesn't give a shit about pronouns. He's pissing everywhere. We wanted to change his name. Like when we got and we're like, let's change his name. But then we find out he's like 100 years old. Like, you can't you can't change someone's name on their deathbed. Sorry, Paul, your name's Kevin now. But we wanted to change his name because his name is Sam, and my wife's name is also Sam. Which is a good reason. And then, but then we felt like a lot of empathy about it. We're like, well, I can't change his name, so let's just try it. Let's just see if the wife and the dog can have the same name. Just live in harmony. It was almost immediately a disaster. We changed the name, we changed my wife's name to Buddy. Very happy, she chose it. Okay, I have a few more minutes up here to let my wife out. My wife dog out. And yes, what else can I tell you? I was also a church kid, very cool kid. I was in the handbell choir. So if you recognize me, I am one or two members of the 1997 Good Shepherd Lutheran Handbell Choir. Yeah, you recognize that. It was just me and my sister that signed up. That's it. We were sweating our asses off. Carol of the Bells was a disaster. If you don't know what a handbell choir is, you have this robe on. First of all, it goes from like here all the way to the floor. Then you have these fancy white gloves on you. You hold two handbells like this. This is the most important part. Hold two handbells like this, and you just stay a virgin for the rest of your life. That's handbell choir. We were church kids. Our church was a dump, though. Like, I don't think God is signing off on all these franchises of churches. Sometimes, like, especially in Florida, too, I'm just like, that's an old Ford dealership. Like, that's not church. We're not worshiping here. Our church was an old IHOP. It had a blue roof. They just added an E to the end of it.
That's good.
Good times. I didn't grow up with a dad, and do not turn to your wife and say, call it, okay? But I have my father-in-law is kind of like my new dad, and like I never knew anything about history, and now I'm learning a lot about it. He's like, yeah, truly, I'm just like, I never had a reason to know because I didn't have a dad that telling me about history, and now I'm like, oh my god, the Boston Tea Party, like, how much tea do they dump in there? Very fun. He brought me to his country club. My wife grew up rich, and that's been really fun, but he brought me to his country club, and as a lesbian, that felt like a lesbian version of Get Out. I was very terrified to go, but you had to dress up when you went. And so he brought me, and everybody thought that I was his new wife. And that was rough, making out with her dad on the green, but I had to. Yeah, she's also like my wife on our very first date. She grew up in Los Angeles, and I brought her on our first bus. On her first date, I brought her on the bus. It was the first bus she'd ever been on. It was so funny to watch somebody who grew up with money be like, "Oh my God, what is this place? This vehicle is so big." Never a seatbelt in sight. That's my rich wife. Anyway, let's get out of here. Who cares about her? I have to let her out, like I said. You guys have been fun, okay? Not worried about you. Just a reminder though, don't take any photos. But obviously, if you took a photo of me, it's not a big deal. Save it for your spank bank or your refrigerator, your cartoons or whatever. Hang me up. And that I'm just gonna tell you one little story about a photo. I got a dick pic. You guys like do that here? I feel like such a straight girl when I say it. It's like my time to bond with them. But I got a dick pic from a friend of mine. He accidentally sent it to me, and no one ever believes it was an accident. But he did, he's a really good friend of mine, good guy. He accidentally sent it to me because he was dating a girl named Molly, which is M-O-L-L-Y. My name is Mo, which is M-O, he was this close to sending a photo of his poorly lit penis to M-O-M. This is a cautionary tale. You need to be careful. Can you imagine his mom gets out like, oh my God, it's Joshua. It's so terrible. But my friend sent it to me in the middle of the night, so I don't get any of these texts until the morning, and he's just trying to push the penis up in the text thread. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, no, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I respect you, please don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. I hope you die in your sleep, I hope you die in your sleep, and never see this photo. And then I finally connected with him, and was like, I'm so sorry, Mo. And also, can you please delete that photo from your phone? Like, yeah, what kind of lesbian keeps a dick pic on it? But of course, every time he calls. Thank you guys so much. Obviously, let's get really loud. This is who's giving to tonight. This is the greatest. Let's get it for breakfast. Everybody.
It looks like
Hello, how are you? Come on, Gordon, now give a round of applause, please, to Mo Welch! He is absolutely brilliant. I do wish he'd stop telling everyone about the dick pic I sent. Other than that, she is excellent. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is my first time in Fort Lauderdale. I read up on the place. Apparently you invented spring break. And that's a good thing, yes. I read up on that. We stayed last night in a hotel in Miami. The log line of the hotel seemed to be, if cocaine was a place. It's very, very nice to be here. We've been touring all over. We went to Denver recently, a place I would describe as. Denver's like you're making a science fiction film and you need a city. Denver was good, but this is fucking. We went to Vegas. I wouldn't recommend doing a show in which you talk about your inner feelings to a Vegas crowd in a casino. I would describe that one as abominable. So it's fucking great to be here. Look at this venue. This is one of the nicest venues I've ever seen. This is proper. This place is so fancy. I feel like I'm supposed to give like a State of the Union address, but I know nothing of your laws, your history, or your constitution. I'll fit right in. Well, look. Let me explain how this is going to work. I've written a list of things to talk to you about. I'm going to go through that list. That's going to take about an hour. When I get to the end of the list, if you've been good, I will do some of the questions that you put in the box in the lobby. But if you have been bad, there will be no questions. So think about your behaviour in the coming hour. This is not an idle threat. Just ask Vegas. That was a very short show. Alright, you do seem like you're a very nice crowd actually. Shall we begin? Alright, let's start with my name. My name is Greg Goldstein. That is my real name. Where I come from in London, England, quite an exotic name. No one knows a Brett Goldstein. I've come to Florida. Do you know who knows a Brett Goldstein? Everyone. Everyone knows a Brett Goldstein, and not just that, but apparently Brett Goldstein is the name of the guy who first fingered you at summer camp. Just here to continue a great and long tradition. Thank you very much. I was talking to a friend of mine back home, who is a woman. I know, very progressive. I was talking to her, and she was complaining about someone at work. And she said, "Oh, he's driving me insane. He keeps man-explaining me." And I was like, "Oh." It sounds awful. That's tough. Oh yeah, I first came out to America a few years back, right? And I first came out here to do stand-up, but I didn't know if I would fit in with the American comedy scene. So I was in LA, I took myself to the comedy store, just watch a show, see what it was like. And all the acts that I saw, they were all brilliant, but the level of confidence was odd. Like everyone comes out on stage like, "What's up, bitches?" And then they all do this weird sort of racial profiling. They go, "What's up, bitches? Where my Peruvians at?" And like, I'm English, right? So I do stand up like I do sex. My true instinct is to come out on stage and go, "Sorry. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I promise it won't take long. Put my head down and plow through." No, we don't have to make eye contact, I'm as embarrassed as you are. You don't have to pay me, I'm just so grateful for letting you do it. I will pay you. That's too far. I've been all over your country now, I've seen all the sights. I saw a man masturbating outside a CVS on a sunny Tuesday afternoon. I've also seen bad things. I've been staying in LA, I've been working in LA. I've been maybe there too long. People back home keep calling to make fun of me and they're like, "Oh, is LA going to change you?" And the other day when I finished aerial yoga, popped myself into a cryo chamber. I was like, "Absolutely fucking not, I'm still ready from the block." I've been all over now, I've been to lots of places, I've been to the White House, I'm sure you will have. I don't know if you know this, but the Ted Lasso cast were invited to the White House. It's a big deal. But one thing I didn't know is that because of taxpayers, they don't really give proper food or drink to guests. Because it's a waste of taxpayer money. It's all very honourable. I just wish they told us that in advance. Because I didn't eat or drink at all beforehand, because I assumed we were going to live like kings. Which I do appreciate is the exact opposite reason for that building existing. We were there 9 hours. Hour 8, I was sat with the president going, "Are you sure? Just a thimble of water." "Come on, man, let me Uber Eats." We also had the great privilege of meeting the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden. It's a big deal, and we were told it was a big deal, and it is. It's just, in England, we've had lady doctors for years. I know it's your first one, but guys. What else did I want to tell you that's relatable? You know when you're on Sesame Street? So I did an episode of Sesame Street, and mean this with every bone in my body. It was the best day of my life. Which is all well and good, but I have had to continue living ever since. And if I'm completely honest, I do find myself at some point every day going, I mean, what's the fucking point anymore? When I did Sesame Street, people said to me, oh, it doesn't get better than that. I then went to the White House, it doesn't get better than that. Like, yes, I've met the president, but he's not Big Bird. And I truly worry that if ever one day I have a kid, and my kid says to me, was the day I was born the happiest day of your life? I'll be like, obviously not. Have you met fucking Elmo? Because I have. You arrogant piece of shit. And if Joe Biden had had flaming hot Cheetos, you'd be number 3. But I should have said this earlier. I love your country. I have to say that. I love your country. No notes. No notes. Everything seems... No notes. One note, just one note. One note when it's small, and then everything else is actually perfect. My only note, and I'm sure this is cultural, I don't understand why your restrooms are the way that they are. Now, it can be old-fashioned, but I don't want to see you taking a shit. I do not understand why your small doors cover the torso, but nothing else. So you can see dick and balls and poo and face, but not the chest, because that would be disgusting, you're right. And if that's not enough, don't panic, because there is also always a giant vertical gap all the way down. So you definitely get to see it all. Every toilet you walk in, you're like, oh, you're right, mate. And then someone straining, like, you need a bit more fibre, don't you, son? And then occasionally you get lucky and you get those restrooms where it's like a room and it has like walls and a door. But those toilets, there's always a lock that's just a button that you press, and you have no idea if that now means it's locked. And the toilet is always so far away. You're always like, is it safe? Is it safe? And the only way to check if it is locked is to unlock it. So the whole time it's either always locked or always unlocked. It's like trying to do Schrodinger's shit. In England, when we need a poo, we go inside a bank vault in a submarine under the River Thames. As the good Lord Melissa Etheridge intended. Two notes, just 2 notes. Everything else absolutely perfect. I won't change a thing, alright? Just a small note. I'm sure it's cultural. As wonderful as it is, you know, you're all very proud, you should be. I think, honest, doesn't always, sometimes it feels a bit edgy. Like, I don't always feel safe. I had this experience, I don't know if any of you will be able to relate. I was in New York, I was hanging out with a friend, 12:30 at night, I say goodbye, and I got the subway back to my hotel. The subway was really packed, really busy. The train I was on pulled into a station, and everyone got off my carriage except for me and one other person. And as the doors closed, I had the overwhelming urge to turn to that person and go, I'm gonna fucking kill you now. I didn't, but I felt it, and it was powerful. But I did it too long. Three notes. Everything else absolutely perfect, wouldn't change a thing. My only other note, the smallest, I'm sure it's cultural. I find the way that Americans end phone calls to be aggressive and abrupt. In England, when we finish a phone call, it takes about 25 minutes. So it's like, thank you very much, yeah, lovely to speak to you, yeah, lots of love to everyone, yeah, that was very nice, yeah, I was speaking a couple of days, yeah, lovely to speak with you, yeah, lots of love to everyone, yeah, all good, yeah, thank you very much, okay, lots of love, okay, thanks very much, thank you, goodbye. In America, you get the information, you go, yep, and you hang up. Every single time I have a phone call with an American, it ends and I think, what the fuck did I do wrong? I always immediately text them, are we okay? And they'll reply, all good, period, no kiss. I'm like, fuck, this is the first time Are we waking up? I'm an accountant. Why are you being an accountant? Paul Lauderdale, we better deal with what just happened. I just very casually said the C word. Now, when I arrived here, I was told at the airport that if I did that, I might be deported. Because apparently Americans think that that is a bad word. Maybe we be big and brave and talk about this. What the fuck is wrong with you? Trump is my favourite part on a human being. Why aren't you celebrating it? Where I'm from, we use that word for everything. Like, yes, I can make it sound nasty, like, who's this cunt? But like, when I see my best friend, I'm like, come on! Because I love him. You know what I mean? And there's so much nuance to it, there's so many circumstances you can use it. It's like snowflakes to Inuits. It's like, imagine you've been on a night out with the girls and you come home and your husband's finally emptied the dishwasher and he leaves you a note saying, you're welcome, and you're like, you little cat. Or like when you go on Instagram and check your comments and someone writes, really enjoyed the show, but your eyebrows are exactly like Eugene Levy's. And you're like, what's that cat? I hope it's now becoming clear why I'm actually doing this talk. I am trying to bring cunt to America. I did want to call this tour the cunt mission, but I was very heavily advised against it. It's a bit like the phrase, the state of it. I don't know if that is. My dad. You won't mind me saying this. No, you'll be proud. My dad is a massive pervert, and if you ever meet my dad and you're out with him, he will just point out attractive women all night, and he'll go, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Look at the state of it. And 9 months later, I was born. I've been travelling a lot. I've been trying to do self-care. You've got to do self-care. So I finally started therapy. Thank you for that. I know saying that in America is like saying, I went to school. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Here's my issue with therapy. Well, A, it's a bit late, isn't it? B, my main issue is, I saw the film Good Will Hunting at a very formative age. If you haven't seen that film, what happens is, Matt Damon has issues, and all through the film he sees a therapist. And at the end of the film, the therapist says, it's not your fault. And Matt Damon cries. He says, it's not your fault. And Matt Damon is cured. I've had 10 sessions with this woman, she has not yet said it is not my fault. I'm like, come on, let's skip to the end, we both know where we're headed. The other day, I told her a story from my past. I got to the end of it, she just stared back at me, like open mouthed. And I was like, fuck. Obviously, it's not my fault. She was like, quite clearly that was your fault. I don't know, but like deep down, if you trace it back, it's not my fault. She was like, technically I have to report that one. This next bit I don't have a segue for, so I'll take a pause. My mum is really hot. I have a hot mum. I have a hot, sexy, curvy mum. That's why you're in therapy, Greg. I have a hot, sexy, curvy, gorgeous, sexy mum. And listen, don't be creeped out by me saying this. These are not my words. These are the words of every single person who has ever met my mum. What happens is people meet my mum, then they come to me and they go, oh my God, I just met your mum, she's so hot. And to this day, I do not know what I am meant to say in response. Am I meant to go? Fucking right she is! I've seen her naked, man! The absolute state of it! She might be retired, but those titties are still working. I've been inside her! Such a classy evening. It honestly happens to me so much that when people say it to me and their mum is not hot, I'm like, am I meant to go, and your mother has a cracking personality. Good crowd. Listen, maybe we don't need the validation. Maybe we're like, oh, fuck you, man. But you seem intelligent. I mean, you've got the IHOP joke, so I'm okay. I think we can do the serious stuff. I think Philip, it's been an awful lot going on these last few years. We've had wars, we've had the pandemic, but worse than all of that, we've had men. Men is bad. Men is bad. Men is like, oh boy, like, men is bad. I think I'm up to date on everything with the Time's Up and the Me Too and the Not You as well. And look, here's the truth. I don't mind sharing it with you, we'll see before I say it. Okay? I always knew that men were bad. I did, because we had secret meetings on Tuesdays and we brag about it at the CBS. But I did not know that they were this bad in this amount. And the more I read and the more I hear, the more I feel sort of embarrassed when I introduce myself to people. Like I sort of want to go, well, obviously I'm a man, but I'm not. I'm not a man. And I realised it must be what it's like to be German. For the last 75 to 80 years. Because everyone you meet, you go, obviously I'm German, but I'm not. Everyone's going, are you sure? Because you have got blonde hair, blue eyes, and you are incredibly efficient. You're like, no, but I high five straight up like normal, that's how you can tell. It's the high fives. And it's getting worse every day. I read something like, I feel like I'm on the wrong team, like it's embarrassing. Like in Japan, some men have started marrying pillows because they can't cope with women. What the fuck is going on? And look, I am very aware that me even talking about this on a stage is in itself problematic because, spoiler alert, I am a man. Some of you might be thinking, what is this sick man's angle here? Like, is this like Darth Vader coming out here and going, stormtroopers are bad, all back to the Death Star, you're safe with me. That impression was fucking shit. So sorry, I really went for it. I never did it. That's not it. You weren't even in space, mate. Get on here. But all the men started stressing out so much. And the more I read, the more I hear, I'm like, I don't think there's a solution to this. Other than I think we're going to have to kill all the men. And it doesn't have to be nasty, it does not have to be ugly. You just get a load of porn and sex robots and pillows, chuck them in the ocean, and the men will just fire in. And look, I am saying this publicly because I do hope that when you enact this, Carl, you will keep me around as a mascot. I'll be very good, I will cook and I will clean, and you won't hear a word out of me. If at some point in your new society of only women you do decide you want to procreate, obviously I'm not going to get sex, wouldn't want it, wouldn't ask for it, but if you do want to procreate, just give me a nod and I'll leave a little pot of cum in a safe space.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
I'm better than I thought it would. Tell you what is an interesting discovery being English in your country. I can say little pot cum. And you think it's charming? That bit doesn't work with an American accent. Like, Ali got a little pot of cum. You're like, oh, God, please, no, thank you. You keep your tongue to yourself, sir. Thank you. I've never seen the show Downton Abbey, but I know it's huge over here. I just assume every episode is like, Your Lordship, little pot of cum. Oh, what shall we take for Thanksgiving? Little pot of cum. What shall we take for the christening? Never mind. I've never been comfortable in big groups of men, particularly growing up. I think it's because I grew up surrounded by women consensually. And my worst thing is a bachelor party. I hate a bachelor party. And when you do stand up, they're often in, so I watch a lot of them. Sometimes I look at men on a bachelor party and I think, I don't think they want this. I don't think they mean this. I think they just think they have to act like this. Like, I got a theory. Let's say there's a group of men over here on a bachelor party. And they're like, Yo, bro! We're gonna fuck you up, son! Like, I think if you took one of them out of the group and put them over there and I'd carry on, they'd be like, Yo, bro! We go, I miss my wife. Having said all of this, I am trying to be truthful about everything, and a couple of months ago, I had to go on a mindful bachelor party. As the groom is recently sober, he didn't want to do anything weird. But instead of doing something weird, he booked a 3-day retreat in a treehouse with a Buddhist monk. 21 men. And if I am completely honest, after 3 days of morning meditations, wheatgrass shots and sun salutations, I was ready to kick some cunt in the fucking head. But I think toxic masculinity is real. I think it's a real thing. I think it certainly comes from sort of men of my generation and above, because we were raised not to be open, not to be vulnerable, and that's a weakness. So one of the only things we can do to combat that is I think we all need to learn how to share more. But have you ever shared something with a friend, and then they shared something back, and then you thought, my God, I wish we'd never shared? Because I have an ex-friend because of our sharing session. There's a guy I've known all my life. I went to school with him, so he's like family. I grew up with him. I defend him to the death. If we met now, we probably would be friends. I grew up with him, so he's like family. I defend him to the death. He's the sort of guy you say has a heart of gold, which is a phrase you never use for people who have a heart of gold. Heart of gold is how you defend your toxic boyfriend at dinner. Oh, I know you saw him spit at a waiter, but he's got a heart of gold. Heart of gold is a phrase like, can I be honest? Can I be honest never ends nice. Can I be honest never ends and I love you. Can I be honest always ends with something like, the sound of you eating makes me want to kill myself. Anyway, friend from school, known him all my life, heart of gold. And this a few years ago, I had this sort of revelation. I'm like, we know nothing about each other. We've hung out forever, we know nothing about each other. And I said to him, should we try something? I said, let's go out, have a few drinks, and let's try and sort of talk about how we feel and shit. And he said, are you having a nervous breakdown? And I said, we'll see. We went out, we had a few drinks, and I went first, and I said something out loud I'd never said before. I was talking about my girlfriend at the time, and I said, I think I love her, I feel like I love her. When I'm out, I am attracted to other women all the time. And I don't know if that's natural, that's just human nature, or if that means I don't actually love her. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, I know what you mean, actually. He said, sometimes, when it gets a bit much with my wife, in my lunch break, I'll go downtown, I'll go down an alley, and I'll get sucked off by a whore. And I was like, yeah. Similar things. Let's see how my thing made you think of your thing. And I thought, I actually do not know what to say now. He has properly stumped me. Like, you know, I probably shouldn't shame him, because that shame sends him down anyways. But at the same time, I've read as men, we are supposed to pull each other out. I said to him, mate, we don't say whore. Good crowd! Good crowd! Right, put a lot of it down. I wonder how you'll do with this next bit. Let's find out. Right. I worry that my fear of embarrassment is far greater than my instinct to save a life. Where I live, there's this dog that lives in my road, right? I really like this dog. It's a good dog. It's a good dog. It doesn't live actually in the road, like it is housed, like it shares a room with this woman. But whenever I see it in the street, it's a really good dog. I like this dog. Whenever I see the dog, I will stop and I will. I have to check this word now. What do you say? You said pet, right? What? I think that's a crime. In England, if you in a swimming pool, it says no heavy petting. Like. Here's my question. Did you just run out of verbs? Like, it is a pet. You're not dogging your dog, you know what I mean? It makes it sound so dirty. Like, you can go to the farm and pick the pigs. No. Really? Anyway, whenever I see the dogs, the nice dogs, so I will stop and I will strike it. That's how it's like. I will stop and I will touch it. No, I will get relaxed and I will touch it. No, I will not. Don't look at me like that. Like, I don't want to take away this show being he can't do impressions and I think he fucked a dog. There's nothing going on between me and the dog, to be very, very clear. Like, it's platonic between me. I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned, I can't speak to the dog. Like, I'm not putting words in the dog's mouth. I'm not putting anything in the dog's mouth, okay? Can a man and a dog be friends without the sex part getting in the way? I believe they can, yes. But I just like this dog in a totally normal way. So whenever I see the dog, I will stop and I will wait. I just wait, right? Wait from afar. And one day I see the woman with the dog, and I stop and have a little chat with her and not the dog, and she says, I've got to run an errand, are you around? Could you take the dog for a walk? I said, yeah, I'd love to. And it's the first time I've been alone with the dog, which I'm absolutely allowed to be. I have a certificate, and I have the dog on the lead, and I walk the dog to the park, and go right into the middle of the park, take the lead off, and the dog immediately bolts straight towards the main road.
Oh, shit.
And there were like loads of people around. And I thought, I don't want to make a scene. Like one of my sort of biggest fears is becoming like a gift that gets passed around, like, fucking hell! So I thought, I'm just going to let it die. I thought, I'm just going to have to say to her, oh, the car came out of nowhere. It's a very straight road. I saw it about a quarter of a mile away. Oh, I didn't hear it coming. It wasn't electric, it was a gas guzzler. And it really, really made me think, I actually mustn't have children. Because if I ever had like a dickhead kid, right? A dickhead kid, and I was out with my dickhead kid, and my dickhead kid was like causing chaos somewhere, and someone was like, whose is this? I'd be like, I don't know, he seems awful. And you'd know it was mine, it would be so hairy. Just a little werewolf kid running around like a Wookiee. Who's going to go and no, I've never seen him in my life. Why does he keep calling you daddy? Get off me, Rex Jr. Right, Fort Lauderdale. Some extraordinary noises out of you. So, I have to say this, otherwise I've learned about this. If I don't tell you this, you're not going to be able to enjoy the rest of the show. The dog survived. The dog is absolutely fine, okay? What really happened is the dog ran that way, then the dog ran straight back, we had a lovely walk, I took the dog home, and we made up, okay? A happy ending for both of us. Why do you think my child is so hairy? Unnecessary. Unnecessary, don't need it. It's a shame, we have something else to do. So I go to the gym, right? I go to the gym fairly regularly. I go to the gym for spiritual reasons. Because spiritually I want to look good naked. And this gym that I go to, I don't really like this gym. Like, I only go to it because it's the nearest, but it's quite a sort of aggressive gym. It's quite sort of testosterone-y, that's a word, sort of testosterone-y and cheese gym. And it's like lots of moody men standing around, and there'll always be someone on the weights machine for hours, and that's all I want to use. And eventually I'll be like, can I jump in on that? And they'll be like, fuck off. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll just keep doing body weight squats. The other day, something happened at this gym. This is completely true, and this just shows you the power of music. Now, I don't know if someone did this deliberately, or if the playlist was on random, but the song that was playing in the gym was this. Everybody moving, mean-mugging each other, staring each other out, and then the next song came on, and it was this.
Yesterday,
everything changed. I don't know if you've ever seen a man lift weights wistfully. It's a thing. Man doing push-ups started weeping. Man on the treadmill stopped doing hill sprints and started looking within. And then the man by the weights came over to me and he went, I'm sorry I've been so aggressive around you. I think it's because my mum didn't give me enough attention as a child. I said, I get that. He said, do you want to use the weights? I said, let's use it to get that. Who's going? Where the hell? I guess real weights were the friends who made it up the way. I did actually make friends with one of these gym guys. You know, I always think there's a step I must miss with like men at the gym where people are getting bigger, where it's like big, bigger, pyramid. You know what I mean? Like there's a missing step, like big, bigger, human Toblerone. And I made friends with one of these Toblerone guys, and so we'd like talk for like 3 minutes at the end of a session, you know what I mean? And then he was suddenly gone, he was gone for months. He came back, and I said, where have you been? And it turned out he had taken himself to China to train to become like a Shaolin warrior or something. He came back and I said, how was it? He said, yeah, it was fucking amazing. He said they used to wake us at 4 in the morning and beat us with sticks. Oh, that sounds amazing. Pay for that. And he said, I can kick really high now. I said, how high can you kick? He said, I can kick you in the fucking head. Interesting units of measurement. And he told me something that I completely believed. He told me that having done this training, if he was ever in a bar or anywhere, and someone were to stutter, fight with him, that now, legally, he had to say 3 times that he was a lethal weapon before he could engage in combat. Nothing would escalate a fight quicker than someone says, I'm a lethal weapon. Oh, mate, did you hear me? Yeah, we all heard you. Well, listen again. I'm a lethal weapon. You go outside. Wait. I'm a lethal weapon. Who are you, douchebag Beetlejuice? But I sort of believed him. It kind of made sense to me. It's only recently it occurs to me, if that is true, that means if he ever does kill someone, then in a court of law, the judge can just go, excuse me, can I check? Did you say lethal weapon 3 times? I did, yeah. Case dismissed, not guilty. She was asleep when I said it. I did say it.
That's not right.
She's not real. The dog survived. When will you trust me? So look, with all the issues going on in the world, and there are many, I actually believe that there is one main issue, if I may be sincere for a moment, that all our other issues stem from. I think the biggest issue we have is wealth inequality. And I think the gap between rich and poor is insane, and I think all of our problems come from that. And I truly believe the only way we can combat that is I believe we need to tax the rich. And something I'm very passionate about, I've been lots of marching with my friends about it, and then a couple of years ago, and it was the first time in my life I've been sort of fairly well paid, and I did find myself on one of these marches with my friends, and I was like, tax the rich, maybe deal with them on an individual case-by-case basis. Let's hear them out. Some of them probably got good hearts of gold, if you will. I'll tell you this, so I was involved in the show Ted Lasso, right? And it changed my life, truly changed my life, and I've been forever grateful for it. I had been working for years and years before that. Turns out it makes quite a big difference when people actually watch the thing that we made. Previous to Ted Lasso, I've just sort of been making stuff and kind of kicking it down a well. See you later, my 20s, that was a waste of time. So I did Ted Lasso, and I'll always be grateful for it. And one of the things that sort of happens is often I'll meet people and they'll say, what's next? Have you got any other TV projects you're doing? And since you've been very nice, I'll share with you an exclusive, but I can't tell anyone. It has to be between us, because I've been in LA pitching a new show. I haven't sold it, but I feel close. Very excited. I'll just tell you, I can't fucking tell anyone, okay? So the next show that I want to make is a show called MDMA Fighting. What it is, take 2 highly skilled MMA fighters, you dose them up with MDMA, 30 minutes before a match, then 30 minutes later you stick them in a cage, and you say, go! And they walk towards each other like you are so big, your skin is so tight. And the referee's like, come on, and he pushes them together, but they just start nuzzling each other's necks, stroking each other's hair. And he's like, break it up, and they're like, leave us alone. Cuddling, when they go each other, and just cuddling. And they end up down on the ground, and they're cuddling. And they're on and they lie there. They look up. One of them goes, it's a cage. And the other one goes, when you think about it, is it all okay? Thank you, yeah. I mean, pictures are going well. Not Cuban so far as it gets, so we'll see. Okay, so look, those of you who are worried about the dog, those of you who are worried about the invisible woman that didn't exist, just a heads up that this next bit is probably the most controversial thing I'm going to say tonight, so strap in. And then it's easy from here on out. But look, I'm going to say this because I do actually think it's important to speak the truth. I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not anymore. If I'm going to say it, then it's been said, okay? I love musicals. Love musicals. I'm not going to pretend I don't anymore. I do actually love musicals. I love musicals, but I hate plays. Plays are boring and you all know it. Once you've enjoyed a musical, very difficult to go back to plays. Once you've experienced the majesty of defying gravity, very difficult to get anything out of to be or not to be. You're boring. Plays are boring. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you and themselves. Chekhov can fuck off. I was in London, right? Uncle Vanya was on. I'm aware that this is meant to be a classic and I've never seen it. And I'm not supposed to be stupid. I should know about these things. So I took myself to see Uncle Vanya, see what the fuss is about. 2 hours, nothing happens. Then there's an interval, they bribe you with ice cream, send you back in. Another 2 hours, nothing happens. How is he getting away with this shit? And by the way, I understood the play. It was about a man thinking he might have wasted his life. I feel you, Vanya. I just lost 4 hours, you prick. And Shakespeare. Why are we still talking about this cunt? I went to see Romeo and Juliet. It is an exact rip-off of West Side Story. You think I'm not going to notice because you took the clicking out, Lillian? Come on. And I hate the culture of plays. Like you do stand-up, I stand-up, you have to tap hands, keep your head saying, if people hate stand-up, they can go, this is shit, and the stand-up has to go, oh, sorry. But that same audience can go see a play, if they're bored, and someone bravely went, this is quite boring, you would be dragged out, arrested, and deported. I saw Hamlet or Macbeth, couldn't tell you which were the same. Right? I saw Hamlet or Macbeth, couldn't tell you the difference in both gibberish. This is how low people's bar was for entertainment. In the middle of Hamlet or Macbeth, doesn't matter which. In the middle of Hamlet or Macbeth, doesn't matter which. One of the characters says this. Yes, well, as the hare, the lion. And people laughed. I was genuinely fucking fuming. I was stalking the aisles. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You seriously enjoying that? You think that's fun? I said, take yourself to an open mic comedy night, listen to someone ask where the Peruvians are at, you'll lose your fucking mind. I hate plays, but I love musicals. Because a musical is like a play where stuff happens. But as much as I love a musical, and I do love a musical, I can never be in a musical. It's not because I can't sing or dance, I can't. It's more because, as much as I love a musical, I could never do the face that every actor has to do at the start of every musical without wanting to, self-harm. I'm going to try it for you, because we're in such a nice fucking venue. I'll try it. I'm going to try the face, right? You've all seen a musical, right? Some are silly, some are frivolous, some are deep, some are difficult, but all musicals begin with an actor coming on stage doing this face. Gee, mister, that's fucking hell, never something.
Sorry about that.
Right, it is time for the relationship section of the show. Do we have any marrieds in? Any married? Everyone? You're married? Anyone have any married? No married. Singles up the front. Are you married? How long have you been married? 18 fucking years! Very young as well. You legal? What? 18? Incredible. Is 18 big in Florida? That seems a lot to me. Almost like, yeah, leave that. What? Someone got well? I don't know. Help! Someone in a very unhappy marriage over there. Just help! Anyone be 18 in this room? Oh. How much? 45, Jesus fucking Christ! Oh, that made me feel tired. Respect. I'm not going to make fun of any of the marrieds, right? I've got nothing but respect for the marrieds. I've never been married. I've never made a vow in front of God or the law, but you did, and I'm sure you meant it. 45 years ago, but I also I am convinced that when lockdown happened, I imagine you thought, oh, I didn't mean that. Like, I do feel now we need to change traditional wedding vows. You know what I mean? Like, wedding vows now need to be something like to have and to hold forever and ever. By which I mean timeline-wise, yes, our whole lives. I just don't mean all the fucking time. You do have to leave the house at least 8 hours a day and come back with a new story. FaceTiming your sister about a lasagna recipe does not count as a new story, even if it's a new recipe. And most of the time we spend together should be asleep, statistically. But that's nice, that means we feel safe with each other. And I love your face, it's a beautiful face, but make me fucking miss it. I do. I've never been married, and the truth is I've never wanted to be married, and I only realised why recently. I actually think it's because of comedy. I think comedy ruined marriage for me, because I grew up obsessed with stand-up and sitcoms, which means all my life I saw one stereotype of what marriage is. I thought what marriage is where you live in a house with a woman who never wants to have sex with you ever again. Like all sitcoms, you know, they're always like, Deborah, why ain't we fucking? You know what I mean? But recently, I've been talking to lots of straight couples in long-term relationships, and I've been asking them about their sex life, because I am a pervert. I'm a pervert. I also don't understand the basics of small talk. And what I have discovered, the overwhelming majority, is that this stereotype is the wrong way round. Most of the men I speak to are like, no, we haven't had sex. Most of the women think they're not having enough sex. And the reason it's gone deathly quiet is because that's his story. Now we know why that woman is screaming for help. So if this is the case, and it definitely is, then why is it? Now luckily I do have a theory, otherwise this would go nowhere. I think it's because sex is weird, right? Sex is weird, particularly how I do it. Like, sex is weird, particularly starting sex. I find the beginning of sex so stressful. I feel the same way about sex as I do about taking ecstasy. Like, in the build-up, I'm always nervous. Oh God, I hope it's going to be alright. Once I'm doing it, I'm like, why aren't I always doing this? And it's because these are two very different states of being, right? One is like being a human, one is like being an animal. It's got a big hump you have to get over to get from one state to the other. And everyone has to do it. Like imagine like someone doing a TED talk, right? Someone doing a TED talk, so they're like, yes, the universe. That very same person, just a couple of hours later, can be like this. like even the cleverest people, Albert Einstein, one day was like E equals MC squared, and then the next day he was like such a big hump to get over from one state to the other. That's why I think being sexually rejected is the most humiliating thing in the world. It's like you're on a date with someone and you misread the cues and you're like, oh, time to become the animal. So you put on a horse and a monkey mask and try to get over the hump. And she's like, what do you think you're doing? And you're like, absolutely nothing. Nothing. I was enjoying all the conversing. More, please. And that's why I think in the beginning of a relationship, it's easy for a man to initiate sex because she doesn't know you. So you can tell yourself, yeah, I'm a big, strong animal. Big, strong monkey animal, man. I'm going to initiate sex. But once you've been with someone for like 3 weeks, every time you're gearing up to get over that hump, Cartman's going, I'm a big, strong animal. I'm a big, strong animal. But she did see me cry. Through the finale of the Great British Bake Off. So I've never been married, but I do think I've tried most of the kind of relationships you can do. I've done short term, medium term, long term, lease. The furthest I ever got to, I was lived with someone. Living with someone was a real eye-opener because before that, I used to think what having a girlfriend was. I thought it's where you meet up with someone 3 or 4 times a week, usually at night, and when you meet up with them, you show them the 4% of yourself that is acceptable for public consumption. And whenever you feel the 96% bubbling up, you say, I've had a lovely time, let's catch up with a couple of days. You rush home, you close the door, and you regenerate. This woman was living in my house. By day 2, the 96% was everywhere. She thought I was a fucking weirdo because I cook everything in a wok. But like, if it's good enough for stir fry, it's good enough for oatmeal. I have a system for getting dressed that used to drive her nuts, right? I'm going to share this system with you and it will change all of your lives. It will revolutionise them. This is how I get dressed, right? At the end of the day, when I'm finished with my clothes, I take them off and put them in the washer. When it's full, I turn it on. When that's done, I then move everything to the dryer and I turn that on. And then when that's done, I then get dressed out of the dryer. What I am not doing is wasting my life on this middleman we call drawers. I'm not taking all the clothes. Quick! People are visiting the house. We must hide our other clothes. If they know we have other clothes, they'll kill us. You know they will. For God's sake, don't let them know we have other clothes than what we're wearing. We must take the other clothes upstairs to a whole different room. We must hold them, lock them in boxes, put them in boxes. They must never know about the other clothes. Wait, I need some of the other clothes. I have to go back upstairs and unlock the box and take them out and unfold the years and years that I have saved. Do you want to know how I won 2 Emmys? Because I had fucking time. So I'm single now. I'm single by choice. By choice. It was mutual. We came to a mutual agreement that I was a prick and she should marry her ex. But it's fine, she's dead. That you're delighted about. Unbelievable. So I'm single now, so you have to go on all the dating apps and all that, right? I was talking with a friend of mine who's also a woman, and now he's so progressive. And my friend, she's on all the dating apps, and in real life, this woman, she's a cat, right? She's really funny, she's really smart, really beautiful. She said to me, I am on all the apps, and no one matches with me. No one connects with me, nothing. And I was like, that's insane, you're such a cat. And she said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she showed me her profile, and I was like, oh, I do know very much what you're doing wrong. And what happened was, she had made the mistake of trying to show through pictures that she had a personality. And if you don't know this one, there's a very fine line in images between fun and severely mentally unwell. Like all of her pictures, she's got a tongue out, she's upside down, there's one with like a Cabbage Patch doll in her ear, a gerbil in her head. I'm like, you look insane. And she was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I said, I think it's pretty straightforward actually. I think you're just meant to put your hottest pictures and that's it. And she said, that is so depressing. Men are so shallow. Is that all they want? And I said, no, men want you to have a personality. Just let your personality arrive at the date within the Trojan horse of your looks. Let your looks arrive first and then release the personality. And he'll be like, oh wow, double whammy. And I said, to be clear, when I say Trojan horse, that does not mean arrive at the date with 12 angry Greek men inside you. I said, that's so depressing, man, it's so depressing. I said, I don't think it's men, I think it's everyone. These are picture-based apps. I said, show me some of the men. We had a look at some of the male profiles. There was like a man lifting weights. There was like a man with a wrench under a car. There was like a man with a tiger. And she was like, no, 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 no. I was like, why are you saying no? He's not a fucking tiger. She said, all I want to know, the only question I'm interested when I look at these profiles is, am I safe? If I meet up with this person, am I going to be safe? She said, the best picture I could see is like a picture of a man reading a book in a library. Yeah, so that book isn't called How to Cut Up a Woman. I said to her, it's interesting. You know what? You are not so different, you and that. Because I look at your profile and I think, I would not feel safe. It's really stayed with me, our conversation, because I think she has a point and I've tried to apply it to my life, I think it's important. And a few nights ago, we were in a bar, there was an attractive woman over there and I thought, I'd like to talk to her, but I must do this properly. So I took a beat and I went over to her and said, excuse me, I'm not going to hurt you. Absolutely nothing. Don't even want to meet my tiger. 69! 69! 69! 69! I've got about 20 minutes of this. 69! The sex swing. 69, the position. 69! Not for me. Hate it. Hate a 69. I hate a 69. No one's interested, but I'm telling you, I hate a 69. And I'll tell you for why. I can't rub my belly and pat my head at the same time. It's sex, it's not Cirque du fucking Soleil. Yes, it's important to share, but we can take turns. A 69 always ends in an 11. There's two people lying next to each other feeling smelly and ashamed. I much prefer a 16, which is bum sex with a pregnant lady. I wasn't sure I was going to do that one. And then I did it, and I thought, do you feel good about yourself? Absolutely not, I would go into Right, we should start wrapping this up soon. So the last thing I'll tell you about, we're talking about relationships and love and things I've experienced, but the one thing I haven't told you about is I once genuinely, truly experienced love at first sight. Genuinely, I went to this party, this woman turned around, our eyes locked, and I was like, shit, fuck, I'm in love. It's a real thing, love at first sight. You're one of these couples not nodding, that's a long drive, right? Did you hear what he said? Yeah, I heard. Keep up doing questions now, but you fucked us off. Genuinely, this woman, we looked at each other, and I remember thinking as a embarrassing. I remember thinking, oh, nothing matters. We can live in fields and live off berries. We got together, and this woman, she's half Irish and half Chinese, which means she's incredibly beautiful, and I'm never allowed to do an impression of her. Where are my Irish at? Anyway, we got together and we were in love. I think this is love. Is this love? Is love when you text each other all day, back and forth, text, and then if at some point she doesn't immediately reply to one of your texts, you're like, right, she's having an affair. Right, she's not texted back because she has a dick in her. Okay. And it must be a bigger dick than mine. She's finally satisfied. Okay. Oh, and another dick must have joined her. Her hands are full. She can't send a text. Okay. Oh, another dick must have joined. It's in her mouth. Otherwise, she'd tell Siri to drop me a line. I knew this would happen. I'm a fucking idiot. And then 25 minutes later, she texts back, sorry, baby, I was at the gym. Miss you. And you're like, all right. There's a real sort of madness to this kind of love. Like, I look at the texts that we were sending each other, I'm like, are these love notes or death threats? Like the mad things we say to each other, like, I can't wait to be back with you, I can't wait to be kissing you, I can't wait to be on top of you, I can't wait to cut off your skin and wear you as a slanky. And you sort of lose all reason, you kind of lie in bed all day and go like, we don't actually have to go to work, do we? We don't have to go to work, we're in love. As if your boss is in the office going, where's Brett today? They can't come in, sir, he's in love. We must give him paid time off. You sort of become quite filthy, you sort of lie in bed all day. Don't leave the bed, don't go have a shower. We can just lie here, passing back and forth the same UTI. Now, it may not shock any of you to find out that that relationship ended. And when it ended, I spoke to my sister. Now, my sister is like the opposite of me. My sister, she's married, she's got children, she's happy, she's like friends with people in her street, she takes pictures of sunsets. She's got a lovely life. I said to her, was I wrong about this? And she said, you're wrong about everything. No, was I wrong about that? Of course you are. She said, love is. She said, when you find your soulmate, you will feel completely at peace. Oh, that definitely wasn't love. I don't know. I thought a lot about what my sister said because I suspect that she's probably right. But if my sister is right, that means that all your favourite love songs, none of these are actually about love. These are all just songs about addiction. You know what I mean? You know the song, it's like, love is a roller coaster, the house is on fire, let's burn our dicks off. Because if my sister's right, then all love songs should go like this. I feel so comfortable sitting on the couch with you, watching a box set for an hour, maybe watch another one too. If you have to work late at the office, I won't criticize, 'cause I trust you and I know you love me, and for you my penis is the right size. For you my penis is the right size. Thank you for all of that. You've been an excellent crowd. I appreciate it. I think you got some questions, don't you? What do you want to work on? Already on. Okay, this is sort of come up with a description for a sex position named after the last food you ate. Corn dog mania. how do you feel about NASA missions? Would you go on a mission? It's a serious question, thank you. I am pro NASA missions. I didn't know that was a contentious issue. But no, seriously, how do you feel about the NASA missions? Right? They're happening, right? They're happening behind our backs, right? There's a fucking NASA missions. Is that what you mean? It seems like a good thing. Would I go on a mission? Yes. But I'm slightly worried about, there's two people that got stuck like that. I do worry if you're like, yeah, I've been gone for a couple of days, and then you go, you've just got another 9 months in this space station with fucking nothing to do. I would kill myself. But other than that, yeah, that's it. Who's your favourite Muppet? I've been asked this before. And I'm very happy to answer it. I can tell you the real answer because I did Sesame Street, that's down the right. And when I went to Sesame Street, I had in my head who might be my favourite. That wasn't who my favourite was on the day. My actual favourite Muppet on the day was Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster, fucking funny, really surprised me. Like, I was like, fucking hell, you're funny. And on the way home, I was like, why did I love Cookie Monster so much? And I realised it's because Cookie Monster is an addict, but we are seeing him at the point of addiction where he's still fun. Like in a couple of months, you don't want to be hanging out with Cookie. A couple of months, Cookie is a nightmare. But like right now, he's like peak. That's peak Cookie, peaking it. I thought about this so much, I genuinely would like to pitch an intervention episode. Where like Big Bird comes back to his nest and the cash from underneath it is missing. And there's like a cookie crumb trail. And then that Cookie Monster goes in the kitchen and turns on the light and they're all lined up. And Elmo's like, Elmo thinks you have a problem. How are babies made? Corn dog mania. Will you marry me? This comes with no context, no name, no information. I feel like I might need slightly more information. A name? No? What's happened is someone wrote Will You Marry Me, then they watched my show and they're like, absolutely fucked off, I don't know. Oh, here we go. We just got engaged. Will you come to our wedding? That's Justin and Lucy. Congratulations, Justin and Lucy. When's the wedding? Next year? I will, here's the deal. I'd love to come, but we all have to come. It'll be our reunion. Deal? Okay, what's the date? Oh, you've got to give us a fucking date. We're never going to hang out again. That's nice. I will if we're all there. Justin and Lucy, I wish you all the best in your wedding sometime in December, maybe December when you commit to it. You know when the marriage is a commitment, you can't just go, yeah, December-ish. No, that's lovely, thank you. How many hours would you need to see in a day before you became suspicious? One. I've never seen. You know what? I'm embarrassed. I think it is. I think I've only just realised that I thought they were mythological creatures. I've never seen an owl. I just thought they were in like Harry Potter. I didn't think they were real. If I saw one owl, I'd be like, holy fuck, it's real. If I saw an owl, I'd be like, my wizard. Has anyone seen an owl? Oh, right, yeah, everything. You need to go to Fort Lauderdale, we're all fucking loads about it. Sending them off to space after them, and that's what's really going on. That's a good one. one. How do I teach my teenage son how to hide his erection sponsor? Are there any teenagers with their mums here? I don't know that it's an awkward conversation for you to have with him. Is he here? I don't know how. I'm imagining if my mum, when I was a teenager, said, "Brett, we need to talk about your erections." I don't know that I survived that. So I think this might be on a. You might have to like somehow get someone else to do this for you. But I guess if they're just popping out all over the place, I mean, good for him in a way. Like if they're visible, right? Good lad. But maybe he needs like a belt, like an extra like a rubber band around the waist. You pop it under when it comes up. Don't have the conversation, just leave a big sort of rubber belt. That's worse.
That's worse.
If you woke up tomorrow naked in the middle of a tropical island, what would you do? I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. What do you mean what would I do? I'd be like, thank you, Jesus. I'd be so happy. I don't understand what the question is. Would I panic? No. I'd be like, I don't know what's gone wrong, but it's fucking great. I'd be happy. I'd make a life for myself. What song would you not mind hearing on an endless loop while buried alive? What the hell? That took a turn. That's from Christina. Christina, what a twist at the end of that. What's your desert island song if you were being chased by a chainsaw? While being buried alive. I got to be a I'm not getting out, Christina. Christina's like, absolutely not. Then something sort of, I'd go like Vienna and Billy Joel. Yeah, just play it as I go. I'd be happy with that. Wake up on a tropical island. Kids look under their bed. This is a very interesting audience. Kids look under their bed for the boogeyman at night. Who do you look for? Who do I look for under the bed? I will say this, right? I don't know if anyone can relate to this. Listen, I managed to somehow function in the world, but I also don't notice fucking anything when it comes to like personal mess. So like, if I have to bring a box into a house and I put it down, it will never move again. Like wherever it was put, it could be in front of the door, and for the next 3 years I'll just step over it, not notice. And then I was in my bedroom, and a visitor was there, and they said, "Oh, that's a scary chair." And I was like, "What?" And at the end of my bed there was a chair. There's a chair. I've never noticed that this place is there, and it's always been there. And then now every night I'm scared that there's a ghost that sits rocking, watching. So I guess I'm looking for the ghost that lives in the chair. That was a very big chair, actually. When is the best time to tell the dinner party that I burned the food? I think you don't say it and you see what kind of people they are. You just watch them eat. Watch their face, make eye contact as they're chewing. Just the whole time, hold their eyes, don't look away. And occasionally say things like, "Lovely, isn't it?" Lovely. Jesus Christ. You wake up in jail with no memory of the night before. What's happened every night? What's your guess as to why you were there? I think it's something to do with Christina. I think Christina's got me into all kinds of trouble. what it was done, but my 4-year-old called someone a fucking idiot. What do I do? Praise them. I'm assuming they're correct. If the person is not a fucking idiot, then perhaps say, listen, wonderful use of language, but aimed at the wrong person. Work on that side of it. So be proud of yourself. I don't know, this and also picked it up. If you hit someone with a prosthetic leg, are you hitting them or kicking them?
That's good.
It depends which end. You know what I mean? Which end, yeah, that's the thing. If you're using like a hip. Why is my boss being mean to me? Oh God, I don't know. I don't know what you did. I don't know if they're a psycho, you've done absolutely nothing wrong. Perhaps they enjoy the power. Perhaps they enjoy making you feel small. Perhaps they're so insecure and they see the light within you and they don't feel it within themselves. And so they're mean to you to make themselves feel bigger because they can't handle other people being wonderful in this world. Or you're a friend.
That's awesome.
If I do this, like this would have to be the end. Have your mum and dad seen the show? Can I tell you this? But I have to. So, have my mum and dad seen this show? No. Mum and dad are not allowed to see me do stand-up. They've never seen me do stand-up. It's not because they don't want to, they're lovely people and they want to, but because you've seen this show. I never want them to see this show. I never want them to see you stand up. Like, if you're in, I won't be able to do anything, you know what I mean? And when I was younger, when I was starting stand up, in the early days, I was doing this like small gig, and I was outside like pacing around, and a woman in a wig came down the stairs, and we locked eyes, and it was my mum. And she went, oh, and turned around, and went back up the stairs, and I called her and I said, did you just try and sneak into the gig wearing a wig? She said, yeah, I thought you wouldn't recognise me. Call my mum. Your face is the third most recognisable face to me, after like, you know, Mickey Mouse and Jenna Jameson. Can I read you something that my mum said? Okay, but this, you have to forgive me, so I have to find it. But I promise it's worth it, right? So, my mum, lovely woman, lovely, beautiful, fit, lovely. I don't know if this is, you relate to this, she texts me all the time. And an average text from her will say like, just getting to the station. I'm not meeting her. We live in different countries. I don't know what to do with this information. So I go, just getting my hair done. Most of my replies to my mum are, okay. But she sent me this quite extraordinary text that I'm going to read to you. I swear this is true, and this text came apropos of nothing. And the text says, Brett! I've just started watching a documentary called Mums Make Porn. These mums seem so wonderful, and I've only watched 20 minutes, and I have so little knowledge of this porn, I never watch it. I don't seek it out. I did see Deep Throat way back in 1970s. Hated it, and I'm still uncomfortable with it, and I realise now why. I love sex, and I love sex with someone who loves me. This being paid to do things to men being aggressive, it makes me feel sick. There's something so out of my control about it, so out of my comfort zone. Anyway, just checking in.